Welcome, grammar students. Welcome to Lesson 2, Verbs and Verb Forms. An English sentence is something like a train. Every car must be in the correct order. The engine and the coal are the front two cars in our train. They are the most important cars, like our subject and verb. The subject tells us who or what we are talking about. The verb tells us the action that the subject is taking. In this class, we are looking at verbs first. In every verb phrase, there is a place reserved for an X word, a middle word, and a main verb. In Lesson 1, we looked at the 20 X words. Now we'll look at main verbs and answer these questions. What is a main verb? What are the 6 forms of a main verb? And what's the difference between regular and irregular verbs? What is a main verb? Look at this sentence. The students are smiling. The subject is the students. The verb phrase has an X word and main verb. The main verb tells us the action. It is telling us what the students are doing. So a main verb's job is to name the action, like smile, drink, work, sleep, and eat. A main verb's other job is to change its ending to whatever the X word wants. We'll learn more about these matchups in the next lesson. In X word grammar, main verbs have 6 forms. In traditional grammar, these forms are called the base form, the present participle, the past participle, simple present, and simple past. We call them the base form, or VB, the ing form, DTN, VXO, VXS, and VXD. Let's look at the verb smile. Smile has a base form, an ing form, and a past participle form, which we call DTN. You will always see an X word in front of these forms. Smile has 3 more forms in X word grammar. We call them VXO, VXS, and VXD. These 3 forms never appear with an X word. Their X words hide behind them. When they are needed, the X words come out and they bring their endings with them. Smile is a regular verb. Most English verbs are regular. Just add ed to make the DTN and the VXD. Now let's look at an irregular verb, sleep. Sleep, sleeping, slept, sleep, sleeps, slept. Sleep does not add ed to the base form. Its spelling is not regular. But you can see that the DTN and the VXD are still the same. Most irregular verbs follow this pattern. Like here, with DTN, heard, and VXD, heard. Think, with DTN and VXD, thought. See has seen and saw. When the DTN and VXD are different, the DTN often ends in N. Do you see why we call this verb form DTN? This form will end in a D, a T, or an N. In review, Main verbs have the third reserved place in the verb phrase. Main verbs name the action and match with their X words. There are 6 forms of every verb. Regular verbs add ed to the dtn and the vxd. Irregular verbs don't. The dtn of irregular verbs ends in d, t, or n. What should you do next? Read Lesson 2, do the exercises and take the quiz, and learn some new verbs.